Okay, so this is going to be your video notes for what we're going to be talking about today, which is definite and indefinite articles, which have a lot to do with what we've been working with our nouns. So first and foremost, for those of us that may not be aware, a noun is a person, place, or thing. So if you look at our vocab words, the majority of our vocab words are clothes. Clothes fall under thing. Okay, they are things. All right, so that's going to be the gist of what we're talking about is things dealing with our nouns. Now, what we need to understand is that in Spanish, all nouns have a preset gender. All right, meaning every single noun in Spanish is either male or female. And there's a couple things that go along with this, so just please make sure that we're being as attentive as possible. Luckily, because it's a video, you can rewind as much as you need. All right, pause and rewind. So all nouns in Spanish have genders. Clothes are nouns. That means every piece of clothing from our vocab is either male or female. What we need to understand is it doesn't matter who wears the piece of clothing. Whatever the noun is what the noun is. And that's what we need to understand. And how do we know which gender the noun is? All right? That's my rules here. My first, as far as recognizing what's which. So if something is female, that means it ends in A or AS. All right? If you look at a word in Spanish and it's a noun, all right, and it ends in an A or an AS, that means it's female. For example, the word camisa, which means shirt. The word camisa ends in an A, therefore it is feminine or female. It doesn't matter if a boy wears it, it doesn't matter if a girl wears it. And that's what we really need to understand here is it's not who uses it, it's what it is. It is a shirt. In Spanish it ends with an A, therefore it's female. All right? If you are a girl and you wear a shirt, it's female. If you are a boy and you wear a shirt, the shirt is still female. It doesn't mean that a boy is wearing a girl's shirt. That's not how it works. What it means is it's just a shirt that is female. Okay? So if we see a noun and it ends in one of these two, female. All right? In order for a noun to be male, that means it ends in anything else that is not an A or an AS. And here's the kicker. Something like vestido, which I hope we understand vestido is dress. Dress is male, not because boys wear it, but because the word itself is male because of its ending. That's all we're worried about here is what does it end with? Based on what it ends with tells us if it's female or male. So although girls typically wear dresses, the dress itself is described as a male noun. All right, and that's what's important. So my first rule, all right, when dealing with nouns is we need to understand that this is important. You cannot change the gender of a noun, ever. That means that vestido, for example, sticking with dress, vestido is male. You can never say vestida. If you say vestida, if you change the O to an A to make it feminine, that's wrong. You cannot change the gender of a noun. All right? Second rule is you can make the noun singular or plural only. All right? Singular or plural only. All right? Meaning one or more than one, which is my next point, is the number. When we talk about number, We typically associate numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're kind of doing that. But what I mean by number here is something is either singular or it's plural. If something is singular, that means there's only one of that object. So a vestido would be singular because there's only one of them. All right? Plural, people like to say, well, if singular is one, plural is two. Yes and no. Yes, it can be two, but it can also be a lot more than two. So we like to say that it's more than one. So if something's singular, it's one. If something's plural, it's more than one. Here's how we do this. Because later on, when we're describing clothing, we may be talking about more than one piece. So if my noun is singular, I can make it plural, but there's rules. And how do we make stuff plural? Just like we do in English. Typically an S is associated, right? Like my difference between shirt, one shirt. Shirts, more than one shirt. The only difference is an S. So we're kind of following that same rule in Spanish, okay? But here's what we need to understand. If the noun ends in a vowel, you're going to add an S. And I need to put the vowels on the board only because I had people in class today not know what my vowels are, and it was kind of scary. So if your a noun ends in A, E, I, O, or U, all you need to do is add an S to it. For example, we're going to take the word camisa. As it stands, camisa is one shirt. If I want to make it plural, it ends in an A. An A is a vowel, so all I need to do to make it plural is add S. Camisas. So camisa becomes camisas. Okay? My other rule is if the noun ends in anything else, you're going to add ES. Okay, so any other letter in the alphabet that's not a vowel, if the noun ends in that, you're going to add ES. For example, a word like cinturón, belt, does not end in a vowel. Right now, this is one belt, cinturón. If I want to make that plural, and it doesn't end in a vowel, and N is not a vowel, I'm going to add ES, so cinturón becomes cinturones, and now I went from one belt to more than one belt. I went from singular to plural, and these are the rules for that. So it's very important that we understand how this operates, because when we're describing clothing later, we're going to be using adjectives to describe it, and those adjectives have to be changed based on how many things we're talking about and the gender of those things. Everything in Spanish has to match, right? And we're going to talk more about that in a minute, all right? So make sure that we're putting this stuff in our notes because it's going to be important, all right? Moving on. Why is any of that important? Because when we start putting sentences together to describe our clothing, things have to match, all right? And what I mean by that is we have these articles now, all right? You have definite articles and you have indefinite articles. All right, what are they and what's the difference? All right, a definite article is basically saying a specific noun. All right, if I'm describing a noun and I want to be specific, I'm going to use a definite article. By definition, they mean the. Okay? For example, I am wearing the jacket that I got from the football team. I'm wearing that specific jacket. All right? If I'm wearing the jacket, all right, I got certain things that I got to do to figure out how to say the right way, because there are 4 ways to say the in Spanish, and it's all based on Am I talking about something masculine or feminine? And is it singular or plural? So, if something's masculine and singular, and I want to say the, I'm going to say el. If something is masculine and it's plural, I have to say los. So, for example, all right, again, we're going to stick with vestido. Okay, vestido's dress. If I want to say the dress and be specific, the dress, vestido ends in an O. That means it's masculine. There's no S. That means it's singular. I'm going to say el vestido. If I want to talk about more than one dress, I make vestido plural with my previous rules by adding an S because it ends in a vowel, so I just add an S. But I can't say el vestidos because that doesn't make sense, right? Because el is for singular, I would have to say los vestidos. So the dress, the dresses. Both of these words mean the, but because it's different type, different amount of dresses, I have to change those two. Okay? If something's feminine, back to the chart, and singular, I have to say la. If it's plural, las. So again, easy one. Camisa. Camisa is feminine and singular. It's feminine because it ends in an A. It's singular because there's no S. I can't say el camisa. That's wrong because el is for masculine things. I would have to say la camisa. If I want to talk about more than one shirt, I make camisa plural by adding an S because it ends in a vowel. I can't say la anymore because it's singular. I got to be plural, so las. Right? So because my noun is a certain way, everything described in the noun has to match that. So vestido, el, vestidos, los, camisa, la, camisas, las. All right? Now, here's the thing. Typically, when we're describing clothing, we don't use the. All right? If I'm telling you to tell me what you're wearing, you're not going to say, I'm wearing the shirt, the pants, and the shoes. You're just telling me I'm wearing a shirt, some pants, and some shoes. That's what an indefinite article is. This is what, you need to know this, but this is what we're going to focus on more. Okay? This is a not specific noun. We're describing a not specific noun, and these mean a or an if they're singular, or it can also mean some if it's more than one. Okay? And again, we have to determine which one we need based on what we're talking about. So if something's masculine singular, I say un. If it's plural, I say unos. So again, let's stick with vestido. Vestido. Masculine because it ends in an O. Singular because there's no N, or there's no S rather. I would say un vestido. So the dress, a dress. That's my difference. Specific, the dress, not specific, a dress. All right? If I want to talk about more than one dress, vestidos, I can no longer say un. I have to make it plural because my noun is plural. Unos. Same thing on the feminine side. Now I need new articles. All right? If it's feminine singular, una. If it's plural, unas. So sticking with camisa, if I want to say a shirt, this is feminine because it ends in an A. It's singular because there's no S. Una. If I want to talk about more than one shirt, make camisa plural by adding an S. Camisas. Una becomes unas. All right? So the shirt, a shirt. The shirts, some shirts. Okay? So there's my difference. But everything's determined by my noun. Okay? Everything's determined by my noun. My noun is going to tell me, Am I talking about something masculine or feminine? Am I talking about one or more than one? And everything else describing those has to follow suit.